You're listening to the Gettin Salty Experience podcast.
Welcome back, Leatherhead Nation. We are back live at the kitchen table, at the Firehouse kitchen table, because Gettin Salty Experience is the only podcast in the whole wide world that brings that Firehouse kitchen table to you wherever you are around the world. Could be Budapest, Roof. I don't know. Maybe. Could be Germany. We get all over the place. Guys are sitting around, maybe not boozing up like us, but they're sitting around a kitchen table.
Boozing.
Back in the day, they were anyway, right?
Back in the
We're
day.
excited. Petey's all shot out of a cannon back from a little camping trip.
Well rested. Start texting us in the morning. I guess like paragraphs and stuff. We got to do this. We got to do that. This is what we're looking for.
Paragraphs, man. Yeah, listen.
He's shooting off shit this morning like he's
What I hit him with, Coach. What I hit him with.
He's well rested.
Somebody's well rested.
Yeah.
Well, listen, someone's got to produce this show and keep things on the rails.
Good.
You know
Take it easy,
saying?
guy.
Hey, I got big ideas.
Yeah.
Come on, Mink, yeah. Make the show beautiful.
Hey Pete, if you went camping and you wound up, if you went, and you woke up in the morning and your pants were on your ankles, right?
Would you tell anybody?
Would you tell anybody?
Funny you should mention that. It was an interesting weekend this weekend, but I don't know if we do an ad first and then I'll get into it.
Really?
The shameless plug.
Yeah, we're up to the shameless plug already.
I mean, that's kind of the first thing we do at the gate.
I'm going to tell you right at the gate, Coobs is into his cups, and he's doing a little basil. My mother's probably not watching because she probably hasn't figured out how to get on it so quickly. So I'm doing the old Basil Hayden's Kentucky whiskey, baby.
I might have to switch to some clears after this week.
That's what I'm...
Just do a quick shout out to Liam. Thanks for hooking up the old man tonight, technically. In the chat. Liam Noonan. Liam Noonan is in the chat.
No, it's not. It's Finbar. It's Finbar.
Oh, that's Finbar. I'm sorry.
It's
that's not
Finbar.
Liam. They're twin
What is
brothers.
Finbar?
For God's sakes.
Are they really twin brothers?
That's what he said, but he could be.
Yeah.
He could be lying. He was lying the whole time.
I think he's messing with me. Finbar.
I don't know, but I do. One thing that I do know.
Fubar, maybe.
Is that one thing that I do know is that those boys are decked out in the finest gear from GettinSaltyApparel.com.
Good
selection.
T-shirts like the one that Mr. Coobs is wearing, or the one that Mr. Refrano is wearing on that hat, or beautiful tumblers to drink your unlawful beverages at Long Beach all summer long. So guys, if you like firefighter apparel and firefighter accessories, head on over to GettinSaltyApparel.com, where you can get the firefighter in your life something special or just something cool. Just check us out, help us out, support the show. There it is, GettinSaltyApparel.com.
Shebang. Great job. Pete is on his game.
Hey, listen, after this weekend,
we gotta take more weeks off. Pete says he's on his shit, man. I don't know.
I was not on my shit.
He had all the pictures. We'll see how he does. I mean, he could
fall
right
asleep.
I mean, he could, like 10 minutes, he could be out.
He might putter out. Peter will putter out.
Nothing worse than Saturday night.
Let's see how he is at 9:20.
Allegedly, some people might have been a little drunk in front of their kids, and allegedly.
That's always nice.
You didn't beat him, did you?
No.
All right.
No.
You're in a cabin. You're drunk. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Slapping the old lady around. What were you doing?
Let's put it to you this way. So it was about 120 degrees when we got over there, and I had to set up camp, and I'm drinking beer after beer because it's camping. We're drinking beers, setting up the camp. And I don't know why, I just threw the Macallan in the cooler just to get it out of the way and so it wouldn't fall off of anything. Pick it out, and I was like, oh shoot, let's switch to a little bit of whiskey, and it was going down smooth, boys. Let me just say that.
Oh man,
cold Macallan, no ice in it, no water down, no nothing. Oh, and then
now you're not going to touch your stuff for like a year because it's
how
scarred you for life.
How did Mrs. Zivkovic like it? Was she all right on it?
I woke up to Mrs. D and the kids fanning my body covered in a film of sweat.
Really?
I'm trying to yak my
Nothing
brains
like
out.
being bombed. And
you had a hangover and you're
yak
thrown
my
up?
brains out into a plastic bag. So I'm just going.
Great role model.
It was allegedly. I'm just saying.
Allegedly. Could have happened.
That's very reminiscent of.
And his pants fell off. Right, Carl.
It was the Ronnie Geese episode. Only
after the Ronnie Geese episode, I was sitting in the living room. I started to projectile vomit across the room, set my kids in a panic.
Pretty much. But we all survived it. It was all okay. And then afterwards, the next day, I had the lovely pleasure of taking them from waterfall to waterfall to waterfall in lovely Ithaca, New York. By the way,
of the night in a cabin and go, come on, kids, we're going streaking through the campground.
We're streaking. Honey, everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it.
The last time I got
bring your hat.
The last time I got that shit wrecked was 15 years ago. I was watching a Floyd Mayweather Oscar De La Hoya fight with me and my buddy, and we drank. Me and Pete, you know Pete. We went through a bottle of tequila together.
I thought it was Tony Bookrup.
Don't say.
All right, listen, we're leaving.
I'm not saying it.
That could be sleeping in the backstage.
Look, we already have a troll, Mukesh. Mukesh, you're getting tossed out of here.
What did Mukesh say?
Look, it's just weird putting up a weird phone number. Like, yeah, all right, Mukesh, block user,
right.
get out.
Mukesh, that call, you're out.
Sniper.
Let's move it on. Let's bring him in.
Let's
bring in our guest. He probably got on the job before 3/4 of the guys in this chat were even born, bro.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the guy from Caddyshack that you might think. He's the he's the original Danny Noonan. There he is.
Hello, sir.
What do you say, kid?
How are you? Welcome to the show, Danny.
Hello, lads. Thank you for having me. An honor.
Pleasure.
Yes,
He could also double for the guy, the most interesting man in the world. Remember that?
Yeah, you know what? He can, Coobs. He really can.
Danny is the most interesting man.
When I'm not paragliding in Uruguay,
right.
I'm throwing up in front of my kids in a cabin in Ithaca, New York.
What's that, Danny?
Try going to a battalion golf outing with the name Danny Noonan.
Oh, forget it.
Miss it.
Oh, my God. Oh.
I love it.
People you don't even know. Like, Noonan, beat the ball. People from the back nine coming over.
Be the ball. Be the ball. That's right.
Danny, be the ball. It's kind of hard, sir, with you talking and all.
Listen. And, boy, it got worse when I went to California. I go to fire department golf tournaments, and people are like, oh, I'd sign in the morning, 6:45 in the morning, and the starter goes, oh, what's your name? I said, Danny Noonan. What? I said, Danny Noonan. The guy goes, early to be breaking balls, isn't it?
Oh, really? My name was Danny Noonan, really.
I had to show my driver's license. You wouldn't.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah,
that's good, man. That's
you know what he said to him? He said, the world needs ditch diggers too, Danny.
That's for sure.
So there I was with the Dalai Lama, says Captain Mo.
Yes. And he said, Gunga Lagunga. Gunga. All right, so let's dive right in it because Danny came on the job in 1973. How many of you guys in the chat were even born? Probably not even in that decade, right? 1973.
Wow. Dude.
I don't want to make you feel old, Danny, but me and Louie were 5 when you got on the job.
Oh God! Jeez.
But you look great. You still got that whole head of hair there. You got the mustache working. Look at you, bro. Good for you.
Yes.
Yeah. So you got in 1973, right? But right before that, you were in the corrections. You took that god awful job for a little while.
Well, yeah, I was on the 68 list and was progressing very slowly. And people told me, "Hey, Dan, take the correction, right? It's available, and then you can transfer right over your time. Your time will count." Well, 68 list didn't move at all, and here I am on Rikers Island.
Oh boy!
Attica and the Tombs and every other thing.
Yikes!
So,
yeah, man.
Rikers Island was Rikers Island.
Yeah,
truly.
Oh my God!
Coops has been there on the wrong side, but I was there.
Yeah, I met you somewhere before.
Through that, true story.
I've seen you somewhere before. You, Danny.
Yeah,
I knew you looked familiar.
One day we'll unpack that story. One day.
Come on, man.
So And the day the list died, the 68 list, is the day I went in the warden's office and resigned. I said, that's it.
I don't believe you.
So you had to take it again in what, in 71 then? When did you
Yes, exactly. 71.
took it in 71. Did you have family on the job, or what made you want to be a fireman?
My father was NYPD detective, and my grandfather had 43 years on the department on the NYPD.
Oh,
Back
He
then,
was
you
a
know what they did?
sergeant, you know.
You know what they did back then? They had the key in the box, and in the box they had the Southern Comfort. Don't you know? When they opened that box,
Keep the cockles warm in
yes.
the winter.
Well, his solution, I don't know how much he would get along today with all the different new concepts. His solution to everything was, don't be giving me none of your shit. I'll be hitting you with me stick.
Like the Untouchables.
yeah.
So-
man.
did he have a shillelagh? Is that what he hit?
Yeah, his nightstick. Yes, yes.
Is that what a
they
shillelagh
had
is?
this. I'm sorry.
Shillelagh is the little billy club that they had. Is that what they call it?
It was a
Little shillelagh?
nightstick they carried. They wrapped the leather around their hands and they walked the beat with it under their arms.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Where was he walking? Where did he walk a beat? What borough was he in? Walking a beat.
My dad was in the 6-8 in Bay Ridge, and my grandfather was over on Bergen Street. And the grandfather, 43 years though. What was interesting was when the Prince of Wales came in, he was his personal bodyguard. So I was trying to go through all these old photographs and trying to find them and everything else to no avail. But hey, they had the same shield number reserved for me, right? 73 years in the police department and everything. But I figured, hey, somebody in the family has to wise up after you run for.
Somebody has to get on the right job, right?
Somebody's got to wise up after 3/4 of a century, right?
Yeah. Dude, what the fuck's going on here? Your young guy's going on the fire department. Doesn't he know he's supposed to be a fucking cop?
You got that goddamn shield here for you.
Kim Weimer in the chat is saying that's the attitude adjustment stick that he used to carry.
Yes.
We can definitely use
doubt.
that nowadays. There is no doubt about that.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I grew up in the harbor section of Rockaway Beach. And I used to bartend at the local places, Beach 108th Street and Fitzgerald's. And used to see these guys come in. They're like T-shirts, jovial drinkers with the cigars, the 3-day bid. I always go, who are those guys?
Fireman.
Sacramento. Yes. FDNY guys. And I said, made me think even more. I forget about that cop list.
Right.
There's a lot of guys from the job, even today, from Rockaway and Bell Harbor and Breezy Point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they have a great community of guys down there.
Yeah.
You've been pushing into Long Beach. Ton of cops and firemen, man. Ton of them.
No, for sure.
All right, so you get on in 73, right? You said
I was lucky to get on the last class. There were 2 guys who didn't take the job at the last minute, like 48 hours before you go to the
No shit.
go to Iraq.
Wow.
So myself and this other guy had to show up at headquarters, which was at 110 Church at the time, and we go up and where the 2 guys are going to be added, and they put us on the order, and the lieutenant goes, hey, I got to swear you guys in. So he looks around the order. He says, there's no Bible, no nothing. He says, put your hands on the copy machine and raise your right hand. So I got sworn in on the copy machine.
He gave you one of these on the nominee project.
Exactly.
All right, you're good.
That's on the copy machine.
Actually, we have a photo of that event right here. Yeah, your Proby photo right here. Check you out. Unbelievable.
that's
Yes.
Proby.
Mr. Carter. Yes.
Yeah. Show him the real Proby photo.
There you
That's
go.
There you
There you
go. There's the lad.
You weren't doing too bad there, Mr. Noonan. Bartending, the mustache. You were doing all right, kid.
the long locks. Look at the long hair. They allowed you to have that long hair in the Proby. Whoa.
Oh, how you doing?
It's graduation. That's one of my ex-wives.
Oh, you got a couple of them too.
Let me see how many. Hold on, she's
14 carried it too.
yeah. We were the last class at the Rock at the on Roosevelt Island before I went over to the New Rock. So
Really?
it was very interesting. Everything was being broken down. And one of the instructors come over to me. There was a deputy on the job by the name of Pete Noonan in the 3rd Division. I had no idea who he was or whatever. So one of the instructors comes over and goes, probationary firefighter Noonan, are you related to Deputy Chief Noonan? And I said, oh, you know Pete? Figuring, I got it now. Yeah, Uncle Pete. I had no idea who he was. They made me the top guy on the scaling ladders. I don't know if you guys remember what
I
the
did the
scaling
scaling.
ladders
Yeah,
were.
I did that in Proby School. Yeah.
Holy jeez, how to go up 7 stories.
Right, you keep moving the ladder
Hook
up
on.
and up and up, right? Yeah.
Fly like a bird. They said, fly like a bird. Oh my God, I was hanging up there. So Mr. Wise Guy here, figuring I was going to get, the nice detail for the rest of the
You
academy.
need a detail, all right. Hey, you know what we forgot, Pete?
What's that?
We forgot the word of the day, bud.
It's just sweet stuff. You got a mouse in your pocket?
Ooh, good point. We do have a word of the day, ladies and gentlemen, in fact. And I think this word is apropos considering our guest. Ladies and gentlemen, our word of the day is a mustache.
Mustache.
All right, yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Salute, kid.
Shanta.
Oh, what happened to you? Went to the beer? I thought
Yes, I got it. Hey,
you gotta
we got a
pace
long way to
yourself.
go.
Please,
I'm
no,
going
no,
to tap it down a little.
You can pace yourself. Lightweight.
It's a fine thing.
That's a fine thing. All right, so you know what this is going to be? My brother's going to kill me here, Ruff. Did you know that the Proby School was originally at Roosevelt Island?
At Roosevelt? I knew it was at Welfare Island. I didn't know.
Well, yeah, it was. They were changing the name Welfare.
Oh, was that Welfare?
The name
All
Welfare
right.
didn't fit it, so they.
I knew the laddering school was at 16 Truck up on 67th Street.
Yeah.
Am I correct with that? Yeah. So actually, we're doing a show at the Academy soon, coming to a podcast near you. So we're gonna have to incorporate that in.
Yes, please do so.
All right. So you get on at 71 and you go to Ladder Tree Truck.
Ladder
Tree Truck. Where is Tree Truck? 13th Street and Tree Truck.
Exactly, between 3rd and 4th Avenue. There was a very famous restaurant at the time called Luch House. And we were right behind it. And single house in with the 6th Battalion.
A single truck with a battalion. How is that not the best place on the job right there, bro? Single truck with the battalion.
Great.
How'd you wind up getting there? You know somebody?
The fixer.
Chief Noonan.
Noonan, you go to Tree Truck.
For using his name.
Uncle Patty said you're going to Tree Truck. Uncle Pete.
There you go. Yes.
Tree Truck. So you get the Tree Truck in 1973?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you get the Tree Truck in 73.
Tree.
A lot of trees.
A lot of trees. Tree Truck in 73. And so how long are you there before you catch your first JOV? Can't be. That's the Warriors right there. 73, man.
But I was
I don't know about
there's a lot of diversified work out of 3 Truck. It's one run, you're down in Alphabet Land, A, B, C, D. Next run, you're in a high rise. Next run, you're lofts over by 14 Engine. And then you're on 5th Avenue. Huh. Then you're at NYU, so it's really across the board there. My first job was, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Was manhole covers of all things.
Yeah.
I'm chopping at the bit, and boom, a couple of manhole covers explode. And the senior guy goes to me, "You're supposed to call it in the air, heads or tails."
People wouldn't think that those things pop the way they pop, right? I mean, it's pretty fun.
Oh, they go. Yeah. Heat, steam underneath it. Yes.
So Tree Truck is still busy. They still, they run around a lot. They still do a lot of stuff.
City, though, they were doing work back then. No,
my God, that's shit right there.
Insane. We were right down the block from Avenue B and 12th Street. Box 452 there, and that was 6-story old lord tenements continuously. They had those crazy rear tenements. I mean, it was.
Surprisingly, where we were in Maspeth by the squad, they had a ton of rear tenements. People don't even know what they are today.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, man, it's like a house behind a house, and it really challenges you as far as laddering and getting the ladder like that. Yeah,
you got to bring it through the first one to the second one. It's
yeah.
It was.
Danny, who were your bosses there? Who were some of the people that you remember?
My captain was this guy by the name of Bill DeSave, who his name throughout the department was Spanky, because there was this show on TV called Spanky and Our Gang, and he was identical to the primary character, Spanky. So he had T-shirts made up with Spanky on it, Spanky and Our Gang. So it was great. It was some very knowledgeable guys there. I was the first Proby there since the 23rd Street collapse. They went on a hiring freeze for a couple of years, and 3 Truck was lucky to survive the 23rd Street collapse. And a couple of guys there got significantly burnt and whatever.
Is that the one where 18 lost the whole company?
Yes, yeah. On 23rd Street, where we lost
one guy that they sent out. Right, there was one guy who was doing
18, which buildings. Is the squad.
Yeah, he was doing. No, it wasn't Chief Dunn. It was somebody who was on doing buildings, because they used to send one guy to do building inspections, right?
Yep.
And he later joined the line, and what happened was he was holding on to the handle of the nozzle, which saved him from falling into the basement.
Yeah, he was on the bail. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was on the bail, and the only reason I know that is because he was good. He grew up with my father. I think his name was Cassidy, Jackie Cassidy, or Donovan. One of those. I don't know. One of those Irish guys. Yeah, one of those Irish fuckers. I don't know. One of those guys.
Yeah. So it was a great place to learn with the senior man, and everybody's really into it. And my tail was wagging, and probationary was only 6 months then. It wasn't like
6 weeks.
Probationary to get the pumpkin patch off your head.
I got you. Proby School I was talking about. Yeah. You're right.
6 months, instead of what it is today. And we didn't bounce around at all. We didn't go to different firehouses throughout the city. It was just, this is your house, dude.
Did you guys ride the back step there, like on the turntable, or did you have a?
No. It was a rear mount. It was a rear mount at the time. Yeah. Battalion, when I got there, still had the red station wagon though.
Cool.
Like a Pinto or something.
Not the big Suburban, just the standard.
Like a Plymouth Fury or Plymouth station.
It was like the family truckster.
The wagon was family station wagon. Yeah, man.
So
but the battalion was in with you guys, right? Which was good.
Yeah, 6th Battalion. Yep. And these were old school guys. They were World War II guys.
I was just that's so funny, Dan. I was just going to ask you. You probably worked with a bunch of World War II guys then, right?
Yes.
Those guys were serious, hard charging, squared away guys, right?
God, I'm like, it was insane. Just so meaningful. Had such an impact. Everything they said, was just amazing. But still, get Noonan in the pole hole. See if he can climb up, dump the flour. And I'm like, these guys are like my father's age and everything. Can you see my father getting a guy in a pole hole and dumping a bag of flour on his head?
That's always tough when a place doesn't get a Proby for a while, right? I mean, especially for that. That was probably 6-7 years before, like when you got there. So.
And I was expecting a lot of there's a firefighter who worked there. His name was Jack Schmuck. And believe it or not,
that is not easy.
And I thought it was an elaborate prank on the Proby. Because everywhere on his locker was Schmuck, on the writing list, Schmuck. And I figured, this is going to be, they're going to get me some way, shape, or form. Jack was a legit guy. His son Bobby came on the job. He had like 30 years and 33 engine. And just, but I'm always like, what the hell are they going to do to me next?
That's great.
We grew up with a guy named Schmuck, right, Rolf? You remember him?
Yeah.
His first name was Reinhard Schmuck.
Reinhard Schmuck.
Imagine that guy, Reinhard Schmuck.
No. Well, Jack used to bring the kids down to my house in Bell Harbor for the beach during the day. So I used to have Jack, and all the little schmucks running around.
What a bump.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Did Schmuck have a mustache?
Yeah,
Oh!
flat top.
Oh, look, Roofy, look. He's off his game already, Roofy. He's off his game already.
Get him.
Good to go.
All right, we're good. All right, so 3 truck. Let's talk about it. Let's bring it up. Let's get right into it. We'll talk about the telephone company fire, right? You were working that day? You were still a Proby?
Oh, no. I had like, now I have like 2.5 years on the job.
It came in at 75, I think, right?
Yes, February 75.
February 27th, 1975, around 12 midnight, right? Somewhere around there? They came in?
Yep.
Do we want to give the audience?
Yeah, we could do the quick video if
quick
you wanted
video?
to do that.
All right, so yeah, let's do that real quick just to give everybody a short primer.
Smoke continues to pour endlessly from this building at the corner of 13th Street and 2nd Avenue. In fact, it seems a bit worse now than it was a short time ago. The smoke, white and gray, is just blowing east on 13th. Trouble began early today when flames erupted in the sub-basement of the Bell Systems building at 2nd Avenue and 13th Street. And before long, 170,000 phones in Lower Manhattan had been knocked out. If it's possible to believe this fire is getting worse. You may hear the sirens in the background as more equipment arrives to battle it.
We're calling it a major disaster. To the extent of it, we don't know.
Battalion Chief Joseph Riley said that the smoke and the heat and the damage were beyond belief. Some emergency phone service is being set up in the areas, and crews, we understand, are being brought in from out of state and out of town to assist in rebuilding this system once the fire department completes its job.
Wow.
All right, so were you first due there, Danny?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Oh, so the ticket comes in. I watched that other video that we can't show because we might get knocked on that, but you were saying that you were listening to the radio and it came in a little bit scrambled or garbled, right? Or something?
Yeah, I had the midnight watch.
Right.
And it comes in, the voice alarm comes in, but it's all scracky, all broken up. I can't really identify it, but what I can get is ladder 3, respond, box 465, 2nd Avenue and 13th Street, the New York Telephone Company Exchange. So I got that and turned everybody out. And who was working was Lieutenant Bartle, who was a guy who spent his career as a firefighter in 26 truck in Harlem. Mm-hmm. So the guy was really a real super veteran guy. And as we're going down the block, he says, make sure, mask. This is strictly mask, you know. And
but at that point, you guys weren't really wearing masks on a regular basis, right, Danny?
Well, it depends if you had the OV or the roof or whatever. Forcible entry team, which is the officer, the ironsman, the extinguisher, the can man. Yes, mask. But those, you know, remember we're running 6-story tenements all night. So if you have the roof, there's no way you're taking the mask in those days.
Right.
Like carrying a safe on your back. You know, it's if you were coming down a fire escape, you couldn't make the swing from the fire escape to the landing. You had to take it half off.
Right.
And shimmy on through.
Right. Yeah.
So if you have the roof or OV position, you're not necessarily carrying that mask every night. I mean, every run.
So what did you have? What were you assigned that night?
I was real excited because this is the first night tour that I had the irons.
Oh, shit.
We got a new Proby in the house. I had the irons show on the day tour. But this is my first night tour on the irons, and the Proby now is the can. Yes, I'm elevated.
You made it.
That's some job to be a Proby at. My goodness gracious.
So should I run through the scenario?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
keep going.
Go ahead, man.
We pull up to the building. Now, the fire had been going for hours now. This is perhaps the world's largest telephone exchange.
Shit.
I mean, this thing is huge. So all through the building, through the night. They have a card game on the 10th floor. They have other people doing this and everything. And all of a sudden, they start to develop an odor of smoke. And they're thinking, oh, this, that, and everything. And one guy walks into a room where he sees a lot of smoke. He looks down a hole, like 2 by 2, and it's all bright orange. So he runs to the phone to call it in, and the phone's dead.
Don't work, right?
Wow.
Now, the guys in the card game on the 10th floor, they said, pick up the phone, also dead. Now, all the clocks in the building are going off, and they don't match to anybody. They're all now they have phone booths in the lobby, and the lights start blinking. So, and nobody can communicate. Finally, everybody has the knowledge to come down to the lobby, and the security guard in the lobby tries to call out. His line is also dead. So he screams to one of the workmen. He screams, he says, for the love of God, get the fire department. We have a serious fire. And he runs to the box on the corner and pulls the box.
So it came in as a pull box. Well, it couldn't come as a phone alarm because I think that like there was over 150,000 phone lines were out or something like ridiculous.
170,000.
170,000 phone lines were out, so there was no phone alarms coming in around there, bro. So he goes down the street and pulls the pull box, no less. That's how you guys get to run.
That's how we pick it up and respond. And we're coming, and 5 Engine, who was coming back from a false alarm, they're already pulling in, and they have a 30-year veteran too, Lieutenant Moran, who goes in. And now we have all these confused folks who work, telephone company workers are coming out of the building. What the hell?
So there's nothing showing, Danny, when you pull
There's very little showing. You're catching odors. You're catching odors. Catching odors.
But this is like 3 sub-cellars down, right? Like 3 stories
we
down.
go inside, and there's a telephone company foreman, right? He's got the white shirt, the tie. He says, over here, it brings us to a display panel. So it's myself, the lieutenant, the guy in the can, and the phone company. And then eventually the chief come in, and the display panel, he tells us we have a fire in the sub-cellar vaults. And there's some
That's when I turn around and go the other way.
That's what Ruffy says. All right, guys, I'll see you later.
I was about to say, it's like me at a Long Beach fire.
Yeah,
I'm out.
I'm out.
So he tells our task, right? First do trunk company. You have to find the seat of the fire, right? You got to find the seat of the fire, and you got to search for victims. So down we go into the staircase. I'm going down and down. Now the smoke starts pushing. Now we're going down, and it's all tiled hallways. And on the hallways, they have those fluorescent lights that are on the top of the halls.
Uh-huh.
Now the smoke is gathering at the top, so it's now becoming like dim.
Dimmer, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the fire alarms are going off, and they're like klaxons that sound like a submarine diving.
Holy shit.
So we're going deeper and deeper, and the smoke gets thicker.
As they go deeper and deeper, Danny's asshole is going like this. Woo! Right? Starting to pucker.
Did you have your face piece on then, Dan? Or
Not on then. We hit a door, and one phone fire guy was down there on the left, a phone worker. Down there on the left. So we hit this door, and it has caution, high voltage. So Lieutenant says, better leave the Halligan here. Not a good idea. So we go through that door and then down with 5 Engine following us, down another set of short steel staircases. Now we're down there. Now it's really starting to push. It's pushing. And now it becomes zero visibility. And there's no venting here. There's no horizontal ventilation. There's no vertical ventilation. It's all right there. So all we can do is just feel for one another. And I had a flashlight, a big flash, and I'm saying, son of a bitch, it doesn't work. I started banging it. And then I held it right to my face piece.
Oh, my God.
And I could just see the thing. And the lieutenant, to make transmissions, he had to take off his mask.
Oh my
And
god!
I'm like, oh, he must be taking a beating here.
Taking a beating. Yeah, man.
So back on, and we can't find any fire. Now, the polyethylene that was on the cables, that insulate the cables, it's melting and it's across the floor now. And our boots are starting to stick to it.
Good.
So we're down there, we can't find it. 5 engines down there. They're trying to look up. There's nothing. Now we're starting to run out of air. I mean, this is 15 minutes into it. So Lieutenant goes, all right, we're going to back out. Can't see anything. Zero visibility.
What was the layout? Was it corridors? Like, was it easy? Could you
stairs, another landing, shorter stairs, and then it led into this huge cable vault room. We had to find out later it goes 300 feet.
We got a picture
300
of
feet
one of
down
those
East
cables.
13th Street. This is where they bring in those. Ever see those huge cables that they have on the rigs that they stretch out? This is what
cable
feeds
pullers. They feed them in,
Yes.
Right, they pull and they pull out cables and they feed the cables with those.
This is the fill with it. 300 feet, unknown to us. We can't see anything at this.
Hey, show that picture of the cables.
So
Suck here.
Wow.
Keep going. I'll find it.
So the officer goes, let's back out with 5 engine. So we start to back out following the line. You can see the firefighters down the end of that corridor there. If you can zoom
Holy
in.
shit. I didn't even see that. Wow.
See those guys?
So is that the 300-foot corridor that these things were all laying down?
No, I believe this is upstairs. The whole building is like this.
Shit.
Oh yeah.
These are what's known as distribution frames.
Right.
And they just run. It's a maze. If you were to drop a mouse in one of these mazes, this is identical to what we're finding here.
Wow.
So we're following 5 engines line back, but the line goes straight up a vertical wall. And we're like, So one firefighter from 5 finds the staircase and goes, here. We got it here. And we grab one another and start going up.
Oh, would you have like a bow in the line? Is that what happened?
A what?
You had a bow in the line, so you couldn't see where it continued up to the stairs.
The first 2 line
Right.
went down and went off the staircase, and for some reason is now just vertically up the wall. And so as we're going up, all the bells start going. And there's so many guys. We had the SCBAs with 4 minutes, the bell rings, but there's so many bells going. You got to take your glove off and put it on your bell to see if it's your bottle.
Holy shit.
So now they send 33 engine, 14 engine down to relieve 5 engine, and we can't see one another, and we're all entangled in the staircase.
Jeez.
So we're all trying to climb over one another and everything. And very fortuitously, Lieutenant Jim Rogers from Rescue Company 1, he took the roof rope and laid it as a lifeline all the way from the lobby down these stairs right into the vault area.
Heads up, man. That's a heads up move.
Oh, heads up. And we could follow that back out to the lobby. And several of the brothers ran out of there. And so they were buddy breathing with the mask of other firefighters. And when we hit the lobby, it was a disaster. It was a miracle. We didn't have all the folks behind us. And at the time, the telephone people reported that we have 2 employees missing. They had like 27 in the building. We said we have 2 unaccounted for. So now they have companies throughout the building trying to find us. It's an 11-story structure. And this place is a fortress. It was built to be earthquake-proof and riot-proof. And on the first 2 floors is they have wire in the glass They have it in steel frames, and then to protect from the junkies who roam the neighborhood at this time,
Copper, right?
they had this Lexan, 1/4-inch Lexan, which is a bulletproof plastic.
So there was no vent going on there, brother.
You could it was like if you took an 8-pound flat end axe, bam, it was like playing a drum.
It's gonna bang right. It's gonna slam right back at you. Yeah, that Lexan stuff. I have a bunch of it. That's some really hardcore shit.
Danny, did you think at some point you weren't making out of there? I'm sure.
Well, I was a bit of an asshole because I went to go back in. I left the company Halligan. They told me to leave it before we went into the high voltage. And when we got to the lobby, I changed my tank and everything. Went through like 5 tanks. And I said, I got to get it. The captain's going to be pissed at me. This tool.
I mean, that's how you were brought in, right? I mean,
Yeah,
everybody
man,
knew
yeah,
now.
man. Yeah.
In the company
don't come
for
out without
50
your tool,
years.
man.
It's like Huey Halligan, he himself brought it over. You know what I mean? This is like I'm literally going into solo. And the senior man grabbed me by my back of the man. I go, kid, what are you doing? Have you lost your mind? You're not going down there. You're not going anywhere. So, and in a sense, I'm really glad they caught me.
Yeah. How far do you think you were away from the scene of the fire? From how far you made it in?
We were right there. The fire, what was burning, was 1 billion feet of PVC. It's the coating that they have on the cables. So it's encased inside piping that runs vertical all the way up the building, all the way up, and it's filled with this. So you have the heat, you have the fuel, you have the oxygen, but it's encased inside the piping. So you can't get to it.
Right.
So the whole building is just burning away, as you can see in those photographs. It's just burning and pushing and pushing, and it's the worst smoke. I mean, I've limited time on the job, but I know. I said, whoa, this is like razor blades in your throat. This is on like, I'm just a 3-truck guy at the time. We had firefighters who worked in the Bronx, all over Manhattan. They came in. They've been to the mountaintop. And they're like, oh, my God, what is this? What is this?
That picture right there, Dan, not to interrupt you, but when I see that picture, I've seen this picture. Everybody, if you've been on the job, you've seen this picture about this fire. Is the straight line on the smoke, right? There's not, the smoke down below, but all those windows on that exposure side there's nothing coming, there's nothing anywhere. But that straight line of smoke and what it looks like just around the corner is like incredible, right? I mean, it's just chunky and nasty. Look at that.
Coming out velvet.
Even there, it's straight, right?
Yeah. Yep. It's like cotton.
And it does look like you're right, Danny, in that it does look like a fortress. I've been in that building for some shoots, actually, and it really is like a fortress, It's
fortress.
Unbelievable.
And then they're searching for those employees upstairs, and of course, it turns out they're in a pub 3 blocks away.
Come on.
So 6 truck was up there, all the companies. So the alarms keep going and going and going. And we're in there, and they sent in I guess it's going on for about 8-9 hours now. And everybody's getting their ass kicked. Everybody's laying all over the street. We're on all fours. People gasping, people trying to suck air in, people leaning against buildings all through the neighborhood. There's literally hundreds of us there now. So I guess about 9 hours into it, they said, all right, we're going to give it a big push this time. And they went in, and the battalion chief and his aide got trapped in the building. And Rescue Company 3 had been monitoring this all night on the radio. So when they responded, they pull up out front. Now we have the fire commissioner / chief of department, Higgins there, and this guy is trapped, him and the aide. So he tells chief of department, Augustus Beekman, get a lieutenant and a firefighter from a rescue company and see if you can get them. So he selects Lieutenant Mike Maloney from Rescue 3, and Lieutenant Maloney selects Eddie Guile to go in and try to find these two guys because the whole building's evacuated now. We're all out. So they follow a line in the front, and at the end of the line, they had a guy from Rescue Company 2 was manning the line by himself. Turns out it was this guy, Pete Bondi.
Pete Bondi.
They tell him, hey, Chief wants to see you. You know, they give him some bullshit to get him out. And they find the chief and his aide crouched by a window. So they call for the bucket of 35 truck. They bring up and they put the chief and his aide in the bucket. Now there's 5 firefighters in that bucket and it's overweight. So Lieutenant Maloney, who they call Iron Mike Maloney, says, all right, we got to go back out through the staircase. Bucket pulls out. They start back down the interior staircase. As they're going down, another tower ladder opens up its line, goes through the window, hits firefighter Guile on the side of his head, sends him tumbling, ass over, boom, down the staircase he goes, and he's unconscious.
Oh,
Holy shit.
that mess.
So here's Iron Mike, no air left, starts pulling him and dragging him unconscious until he hit an exit where everybody surrounding it could identify these silhouettes coming out of the smoke. And they took him and rushed him off to Bellevue unconscious. He woke up a day or two later, not even knowing where he was. And a little add-on to Lieutenant Maloney, Iron Mike Maloney, he never went sick from the job. And about a week or so later, he goes back to work at Rescue 3. They get a job at a taxpayer at a strip mall, a typical job, a high heat. They go back out to the sidewalk, and he drops to his knees. So they rush him over to the hospital, and he dies.
Oh my God.
And he was 46 years old.
Really? I never heard that story.
And they open him up on his autopsy, and they find that the hydrogen chloride, which was one of the many, many chemicals being given off here, has just eaten away the inside of his pleural sac of his lungs.
Holy shit.
So he doesn't go as line of duty from the phone fire. He goes line of duty from the taxpayer. And he never got recognition for this. To me, this is the criteria of a Bennett medal. Not only did he save a chief and his aide, he saved a fellow firefighter twice. I mean, this is incomprehensible, and then dies 8 days later. And clearly identifies what he was. So here we are. Everybody's out again. It's a friend of mine told me years later he was in 36 Engine. And that was on 125th Street in Harlem before they disbanded him. And they're listening to this thing all night. And they say, 36 Engine, respawn. All right. At one time, we have 35 engines and 19 ladders, all heavy rescues, all operating simultaneously. And 36 Engines going, oh, you know, what are we going to East Village for? We're a top 25 company. We're a Harlem company. Why don't they come up here and give it all the bullshit? So they go, and within 1 hour, the officer and all 5 firefighters are laying on the street. This was an ass kicker of all ass kickers. 239 guys in an era when going
Nobody tapped out, right? Nobody tapped out.
They frowned on it. No way, dude. You know, they would call a lieutenant in and call your captain to division. Explain it was you just didn't go sick. So 239 out of the 699 were there tapped out in the street. In the street. So it turns into this, and then safety division identifies a moving crack on the east wall. It's an 11-story building. So they want to evacuate all the tenements that are next to us. But nobody wants to go, because if they go, they're fearful they're going to get ripped off. The junkies are going to get in the apartment and rip them off. Finally, it got so bad, they started running from the buildings, holding towels to their mouth, barefoot. And a particular concern to us was like babies and toddlers and those whose respiratory tract is not fully developed, because this is some nasty, nasty, nasty stuff. So everybody's tapped out on the street. They have the medical vans there, and they say, listen, all the hospitals here are filled. Where do you live? They go, oh, you live in Rockaway Beach. Here's your local hospital. This is where you go. But in the interim, all the phones start to go out, block by block by block by block. Now the 911 system falls down.
No shit.
It's silent. So 300 square blocks, 170,000 residential phones,
300 square blocks.
500 businesses out of service. And this is pre-email, where everything was contingent upon you communicating with your suppliers via telephone. This is 85. And we had all the housing projects. We had a ton of, we had everything. We had Stuytown, Peter Cooper Village, Reese projects, all the NYPD precincts, all of our companies in the 1st Division, part of the 3rd Division. It's no communication. Everything's gone. Everything's gone. So the phone company starts pulling in employees from all over the country. They eventually brought in the Communication Workers of America, 5,000 people to stand by to begin bringing back phone service and go into this smoldering, toxic heap. This is the phone companies calling it the miracle on 2nd Avenue. They're going to get the phone service back in 5 weeks. We call it the Mount St. Helena's on East 13th Street.
Yeah.
So they dangle the overtime in front of all these folks. They do 12-hour shifts. They went in there. When they came back out, you could not identify their ethnicity. They were covered in this black, toxic soot film that just completely covered it. I don't know whether you have photographs of that. It was just horrific.
So this is days after. You're saying that there was
Days
just like
after,
more of
yeah.
a light. It was like a light smoke condition. So most people were going in there without.
Well, it took 17 hours before under
I was
control.
just going to say that 17 hours to get under control, and they had workers in there. They had a plan to get the phone lines back in service in 2. They wanted it in 2 weeks, but they were pushing for 3. They wanted 3 weeks. They were pushing for 2 weeks, and they were getting equipment and stuff from all over the country. Like they was coming from Illinois that was supposed to go to Boston.
Yeah.
They redirected to New York, and they were hell bent on getting the system back online.
Yeah.
And so I was going to ask you, Danny, like how many? And I know a lot of the guys on our job, suffered from the effects of this. How many of these telephone workers or residents from around that area suffered from the same types of cancers?
The impact has to be the same as us. At least we had some SCBAs. These guys went in overalls. Yep. They didn't even have, a medical mask. And they were just covered. It just, and then the smell. One of the guy's wives from Rescue One was saying, the smell on my husband's body, the smell on his flesh wouldn't leave for days, shower after shower after shower. It was just embedded in all of us. That's all we want to do was scrub it out. Scrub it out. So if you go there today, right, you go there tomorrow, you go to the North Wall, you look at the North Wall after 40-something years of New York winters and hurricanes and everything else, and it's still charred.
Still
Above
smoke
the
stained.
windows
Yeah.
are still charred all the way up the north wall. 40-something years. Imagine if that's ingested into you.
No.
If you took a feed of this.
So let's talk about the numbers, Danny. How many guys were affected as far as cancer wise who wound up getting sick after? How many guys were there, and how many guys wound up getting sick?
This is the great unknown. This is a fire department disaster. Within several months of this, within a year, one of the guys in my house who had the roof that night, wonderful, athletic, he played on the football team. What? Party has this, what cancer? Some kind of crazy cancer? What? Oh, he's dead shortly thereafter. Lake Ronkonkoma,
Really?
a couple of beautiful daughters. What? Oh, then the phone, oh, you hear so-and-so in 14 engine? That guy, the guy with the Irish mouth, he's got cancer too. The guy from 7 truck, what is there? Well, it starts, the phones, or every time the phone rings now, it's guess who died?
Right.
Guess who died? Guess who has cancer?
It was happening that fast. Huh? The
Wait,
cancer.
but
That's crazy.
before that though, right, Danny? Guys were getting flu-like symptoms, right?
Yes.
Like a couple of weeks after that. Guys
Yep.
thought they had the flu because it was February, it was New York, so a lot
Yes.
of guys were getting sick, and they all thought they were having the flu, right?
Goes right on. This is new to us. This is a new ball game. Where you're right on. This was, I mean, how many forever we're fighting wood, cotton, these materials. Now we're up against these carcinogenic, cancer-causing agents, all these various plastics and everything, completely unknown to us. I have here a short quote from who became John Hard, who became chief of department. This is after the phone fire, and of course, pre-9/11, right? Pre-9/11. As it relates to injuries, duration, and damage, it was the worst fire in the department's modern history. If we had to fight the telephone fire today, we go about it much more cautiously. And if it was demonstrated that the smoke was hazardous to the firefighters, I would hold them out of the building. So instead of having hundreds and hundreds of us in there, and this cancer is becoming all over, right? And so we start knocking on the city hall door. We start knocking on the hierarchy door. This guy, this guy, this guy. And those guardian angels who work in the Bureau of Health Services are saying, look at this. Look at this. In the first 10, 15 years, we got 18 guys dead, and their average age is 44.9. Wow. I mean, it's unbelievable. And nobody's answering the door. City Hall doesn't want to know anything. Do you know how many hundreds of fire? If they put a couple hundred of us out line of duty, they'd have to bring in a couple of academy classes with hundreds of fire. They don't have the money. It becomes a money deal.
Always does.
All they did for us, they took our folders to 699 of us, and they took a stamp of a red star, and they stamped every one of our folders.
That meant that you were at that job?
Yes, exactly.
So you got a red stamp, that means you were at that job. And
Yes.
that's what they did for you.
This is our medical monitoring. Is a red. So all the folks, even the light duty folks who are working down the medical bureau, start calling this the red star of death. Everybody who has one of these, they're like, oh my God, he's 42, he's 49, he's 54. They've done no epidemiology studies, nothing, zero. It's just on the 40th anniversary, Commissioner Nigro, who worked that night, he was in 21 engine. He got relocated to 5 engine, which is a block away. So all night, the whole community's calling up. So he's responding all over. He's like a new guy like I am. So he's riding with the lieutenant, and he hopes to take in the big one. And he's like, "Hey, Lou, let's take this in." And the old-time lieutenant goes, "Maybe not this one, kid." He knew. So on the 40th anniversary of Commissioner Nigro, we had a get-together at 9 Metro Department headquarters.
I watched that too. Yeah, it was nice that they commemorated it. You know what? Yeah, Dan.
Since then, I've had this passion. I don't know why. I was probably like junior man there. That we should have something. A couple of very brave people from the medical bureau within 72 hours of 9/11 demanded to see the mayor and the chief of staff. They demanded. And they said, "Do you remember the telephone company fire?" And they're like, "We do, yeah, my office, all the phone, we couldn't get no phone." He says, "We cannot make the same mistake twice. We need a gold standard of medical monitoring for our 9/11 responders."
Right.
And the administration agreed. And out of that became today's 9/11 healthcare.
Yep. I mean, I go, Louis goes, and unfortunately, it took all these guys dying from that fire to open these guys' eyes and say, "Holy shit, man, we got to take care of these guys."
But there's nothing about it. There's not. I and the communication workers and everything. No, we want a plaque. We want a simple plaque on the building, or a plaque at the Rock, at the Academy. Or what I wrote letters about is we have street signs all over the city. Many of them honoring 9/11 folks. They're all, like, for instance, I live on 91st and 2nd. Well, I'm talking to you from there. Downstairs below East 91st Street, it's Jimmy Cagney Place. Okay, and a couple of blocks away is King Gustav of Norway Place. They're all throughout the city. Why wouldn't
the job do that?
Why can't we get that done?
Firefighters Way, or a plaque, or even I wrote them about a ribbon to give a department. No citations were issued, no unit citations, no medals of valor, nothing.
Listen, we have a wall at headquarters and rightfully so, for the guys from 9/11 who are dying, from cancer, right? We're losing guys all the time, right? This is me and Coobs. We get a text every week or every month of a guy we know that. So how is it that job where you lost and it's confirmed? It's not like we're making stuff up here. This was confirmed. Guys started dying like I didn't know it was even that fast. It's even more of a
fast,
beacon. That how are you guys not? How they don't have a plaque down at the
46
headquarters for that?
I did not have it. 46 years later,
I wouldn't even have thought that was even a thought.
If you took that feed from there and it stores itself, those cancer-causing carcinogens store themselves in your cell, it could be X amount of years.
Right, I got it. Same thing with the trade center.
It could be different. Peak could be 2 years. You could be 12 years.
Right.
Your system,
it's
especially
your
blood-generating organs.
Exactly.
This is where all come. And all the deaths from the phone fire, no less noble than any other
I agree.
line of duty. This is the FDNY, for Christ's sake. We need a sign, a plaque, a ribbon, something to note the valor that these firefighters did many years
I think our audience should start calling down at headquarters and say, "Where's the plaque for the guys for the telephone fire company?" I think that's what you should do.
I mean, it's not 5 guys. Not that would take away from anything, but it's.
Danny, do we have a rough estimate on how many guys have died from cancer that they suspect?
This is a down in the safe in the. This is.
That's down where
no epidemiology. No.
I mean, if you had to guess, guys that you just got from guys, hundreds. There you go.
Hundreds.
That's it.
Hundreds.
It's that simple.
Hundreds. Yeah. If you were to say the normal lifespan or whatever, and take the phone fire responders and cross it, hundreds.
Right. I could understand. I could get if a guy was at the fire when he was 50 and he dies at 85 of cancer, it could be from there. You could sell me on it that you know, the guy was 85, he lived a good life. You know what I mean? I'll sign the papers right now for 85. Yeah. But if a guy was 43 and he died at 44 from a cancer, and you got a lot of guys that's a little bit different.
54 or whatever.
Right, no doubt.
The cancer, the leukemia, the interstitial fibrosis, a mess. A mass cancer causing carcinogens akin to 9/11. We are akin to 9/11. A lot of old timers and vets call the fire at the New York Telephone Exchange the first 9/11. Yeah, nothing equals 9/11, of course. That's it's all sacred. But this, Jesus Christ!
Listen, you're talking about hundreds of guys who've died as a result of doing their job, in the line of duty. Yeah, man, that's huge. That's a lot of guys.
As you were saying, a couple of months later, I got the flu. I got this. Yeah, why do I feel like this? It's starting. Yeah. It's starting.
Danny, you got cancer yourself, didn't you?
I was diagnosed with leukemia. Everybody's like, Danny, guess who's died? Guess who died? It's unbelievable. I don't want to pick up the phone anymore.
I know.
So I read this article by Dr. Linus Pauling and somebody that mega doses of vitamin E can ward off cancer. So religiously, every day.
Pouring vitamin E all over your body.
I was out on
Danny's taking vitamin E baths.
What I'm going to be doing tomorrow.
I was eating this like donuts.
My wife's going to be like, how come Amazon just dropped off 7 tubs of vitamin E?
Yeah.
But, to make sure that it was related to, I was living in San Diego at the time, and I went to the UCLA School of Occupational and Environmental Medicine, which is like a global standard thing. And they did comprehensive and everything. And they wrote to a reasonable degree of medical certainty, Mr. Noonan's leukemia and lung disease is a result. And they list all these chemicals from the New York Telephone Company fire and the smoke. They really went to town on it. And then I went to Mount Sinai School of Occupational Medicine, and they were of the same opinion. So I wanted to make it abundantly, that yes, here's the connection. So,
no, you're doing a great job. I mean, initially, that's how I found you. I mean, I think you were doing a great job. I talked to Coobs, wasn't not even a thought that we had to have you on the show, just because obviously your history and the fact that you do a lot and you're getting the word out. For exactly what, and that's what we want to do, is we want to get the word out.
You guys are right.
Gary Schmitz in the chat says that the city should be paying for your vitamin E.
Yeah. That's right. It's not my Guinness.
Yeah. You know what's every time my wife reads in the paper, this guy just died of 9/11 cancer, I could see it in her face, Danny, that because me and Louis I was there, I don't know, maybe the first 5 minutes after the second tower came down.
Wow.
So I could see it in her face, bro, that she looks at me like, almost like, when's it your turn? When's it going to happen for you? Because it's.
I know this is not the same thing, but my wife ran away from the buildings because she was there when the second one was coming down, and she was covered in that soot,
dust.
And every time we talk about this, it's in the back of my head too. And you know what I mean?
I mean, you don't have to say it, right? And she doesn't have to say it every time she reads it. I just I try to not even, but it's a reality. And like you said, that's a lot of guys, man. One guy's enough. A couple of hundred guys is way too much,
but
man.
This is us thinking this. We're knocking at the door, but nobody's answering.
We should be doing a better job than that. I don't. And the fire department does generally do a better job than that.
We're the FDNY. We're this our history. We have to note our history. We can't sweep it under the rug.
You can't forget the history. You can't forget that.
You can't do it.
Do you think
it should be something that the kind of the rock, or get me or one of the numerous guys who are still. And say, hey, Probies, this is blah, 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 learn from our history.
Danny, is that?
I'm sorry, Louis. I just thought, for 1 second, do you think by any chance it's because of your era the type of men that you were with, that, you know, the strong, silent type, like you said, 239 guys tapped out in an era that no one would ever even think to tap out. Do you think that perhaps it's because of that time that guys kind of took it on the chin quietly, that's why that you haven't gotten this recognition?
Yes, it kind of came with real tough guys. We said, you know, Korea non-vets, you know, it's like, you know, it's rock and roll. Let's go. This is what we do. We're FDNY. We're firefighters, you know, and it's our disposition, our attitude.
We will die if we have to, that kind of a thing, right? But why should you, if, you know, from stuff that's preventable is, I guess, what the point that you're making, right?
Preventable. It's preventable. You know, that's why medical monitoring is so important. You got to do it. This is what I'm such a strong advocate for with this Firefighters Against Cancer Exposure. I mean, we got, it's a new day, a new ball game. We got all this. We got to get checked. And, you know, I got my button and everything. Get checked now. We got to do it. You have an obligation, not only to your brothers and sisters on the job, but, you know, your family first, those around you. Get checked, because it starts small, right? It starts small and then it grows. It grows before, you know, stage 3, stage 4. You want early detection is the cure.
Danny, you wanted to ask you quick, do you have anybody who's from that job that is around that's, you know, helping you do what you're doing? Or you kind of got the whole bowl of wax?
Junior, man, these guys, you know, want to do their happy hour and everything, but they're all for it. They're all, you know, anything they could do vocally or whatever, they're in. You know, they're in. Those of us who are still around, it's very much so. But it was really a disgrace. In '99, I went to 9 Metro when Von Essen was commissioner, and we worked the same battalion in the South Bronx, and I went in without an appointment. They go, "You crazy to see a commissioner without?" I said, "No, tell him who I am, tell him I work with him." And he saw me. And I said, "We need a survey. We need a survey. We need to take care of these folks." And he agreed. I mean, to Von Essen's credit, he agreed, but he took one guy who worked in hazmat, who was studying for his master's in health services, and said, "All right, this is your project." I'm like, one guy. And they sent out these questionnaires only to the 239 who tapped out. And there would have been a great more if guys weren't going on vacation, if they weren't going on 3 days off, because you got to go to medical office. There would have been 500 tap outs on the street. And Vanessa, he sent it, but half the guys didn't get them. And then the word got out, you can't trust the city. This all applied to, so there was nothing legit. And then 9/11 came, and I said, make this 344 on your agenda, you know, but he did try. But I said 14,000 people on the department, one guy, you know, I mean, come on.
Who was the guy? We might know. From hazmat?
No names.
Well, I'll tell you his name if you want. I don't know.
Yeah, throw it out there.
Can I tell you his name? Conley. Ed Conley.
Ed Conley. Eddie Conley?
Yeah. So that's what he came up with. But
one question that's coming in from the chat is from MC's audio, and he's asking if you guys have considered doing a petition ever, you know, to get this out there, for the name, street name, or the building plaque, or anything like that.
We need getting salty. It's what we need, you know.
Amen, brother. Listen, I just said we're doing a show down at the Rock coming up soon, and I think the chief of department, Chief Richardson's going to be down there, so we might just whisper something in his ear, and maybe we can get something done here. You know, at least a plaque, you know, something.
Something. You got to remember these folks. Yeah. Something. And the Red Star, you know.
That's our best thing. That's really our best thing that we do is we always remember. You know, we always, you can't preach it and not do it, right? You can't keep saying never forget. And,
All right,
Well,
we're on it now, Danny. We're on it.
Yes,
The guys are on it.
the hierarchy told us nobody died at that fire. But that's a misnomer. All right, guys came
Everybody on the
really,
job
really close.
knows. They know that the guys.
yeah, that's all false.
Anybody
You
you've talked to knows that guys that were getting sick and dying from that job. Everybody. knows.
Well, and then City Hall said, there's a lot of smoke. It could have been secondhand smoke.
Well, it could have been. I mean, listen.
People smoked it. I said secondhand smoke.
Secondhand smoke.
This is,
It could have been. Yeah, it could have been.
100 tons of PVC. A billion feet of this. It's bullshit. So anyway, I wanted to.
Well, let's do this, Dan.
Danny.
No, let's do this, Dan.
I'm on a mission to get a plaque. That's what I'm on a mission for right
Danny,
now.
let's go through. Let's go through the rest of your career. You obviously worked in 31 truck. Probably didn't see much fire there, and then my truck. So let's go through that. I'm sure we'll circle back around. We'll talk a little bit more about this.
Man,
Wait. Before he gets the 31 truck, he gets rewarded for the telephone company fire, right? How much longer you come back and you get a pink slip that you're laid off?
Well, it was February 27th and June 30th. I got my pink slip.
There you go, Danny.
Thanks for your service. Take care.
Danny.
Have a little lung issue and make sure you throw up in the toilet. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Danny, enjoy your black lung. Thank you very much. There you go.
Yes.
You son of a
Yes,
bitch.
on your way, lad. On your way. For me, I end up with 900 something of us out, and I was out like a year and a half, and I was a single guy, so I was bartending in the Hamptons in the summer. I go to Southern California in the winter, so it was like, all right.
Oh, so you're really suffering during that.
Suffering.
Danny, this is not going to help for the plaque. I'm just saying. I'm kidding.
So, but the other guys, boy, they were just at the age where, honey, let's have the second kid, So the city of New York says, all right, we'll take care of it. They made them bus drivers, driving a city bus. And of course, you can imagine they had the best routes.
Wait a minute. The guys that they laid off from the job, they gave jobs as city bus drivers?
Yes, sir. Yes.
I never heard that before.
Yeah.
What?
That's nuts.
No, you go from fighting fires to become Ralph Cramden all of a sudden. I don't know. What?
The worst routes in the city on the worst hours.
Yeah.
These guys were, they had a standard answer. They go, all the tourists would go, does the crosstown bus go uptown? All that. They were like, next bus. Next bus. That was the standard answer. Yeah. Next bus.
Hey, here's the good news. You're not going to be a fireman anymore, but there's the bad news. The good news is we gave you a route in Harlem at 3 a.m. So how about
exactly. That's just what happened.
I probably does.
That's just what happened.
That's freaking great. No, I never heard that either.
Shit.
No, it was standard. Yeah.
Wow.
There was a thing where guy was driving the bus and he saw Hagen, which is the commissioner, going to work, and he tried to cut him off with the bus.
Trying to ram a bus into him.
Yes.
Can you imagine firemen driving buses?
Oh, pissed off firemen too.
Guys who got laid off.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Pissed off. They got 4 years on the job, 5 years.
It'd be something like this. You ready to be something like this? Hey,
hold on.
Does this bus go to 3rd Avenue? Well, how the fuck do I head out?
I got to get up 125th Street. Hold on. There's a job coming in. I'll be right back.
Really. They got to buff the job.
Classic.
Hey, don't keep playing that because Johnny Walters is in the chat.
No, that's why I'm playing it. That was for Johnny Pegleg Walters.
Give me another one, bro.
Johnny, we love you, buddy.
So how did you go to the busiest place? Did you call the fixer? Like, how did you get over to
31 truck?
My captain in 3 truck was a lieutenant with Bob Farrell in 4 truck. 4 truck when Bob got his medal there, and they And they said, I got a guy here. 31 was a HUD truck where they did a lot of federal money. It could be rehired. And he goes, I got a guy here who likes to go to fire. So, yeah, they got me up there, and it was.
Who was that little guy he's standing next to? Who was that?
That guy is Danny Gainey. If you notice his turnout coat, the bottom of it
is burned off.
You see the bottom of it? Back in the day, he would take that to a tailor and would have it sewn up way above his knees, because when you made the flat, when you were crawling along, if your turnout coat was too long, your knees would be pulling on the interior of your coat.
Look at that.
So they would tailor it and just cut it like that, so you can make a quick.
Now that helmet is so salty. Is he a 31 truck guy? I can't even read it.
Yeah, he's the man. Yeah, Danny is.
You could barely see it there.
Wow.
This has got to be one of the most American freaking photos I've ever seen in my life. I'm gonna actually show this to everybody on the 4th of July, man.
What job was this at, Danny? You remember after the job, or
they blend into one another?
I'm sure.
Look at this. When you go to that many jobs, they start running into each other. You know what I mean, bro?
Oh, look at this guy right here.
There's the man. Yes.
Dude, nothing says firefighter. See this now. This is the most firefighter.
The Con Ed gloves or whatever you got.
Sorry. There we go. There it is. Oh my God. What a badass. Holy
transitory
shit.
gloves.
You still talk to Bobby Farrell?
When we go for our Christmas parties.
Yeah, tell him to get his ass on the show already, will you?
He's the gay. He's the man. You know, he's
writing a book now. We're trying to get him on the show.
Absolutely legendary. Absolutely remarkable. Great to work for.
So you got there, the 31 truck. After you got laid off, you come back. You go to 31 truck. You know, one of the maybe the busiest truck in the city at the time in the Bronx. Right? Did you work with Dennis Smith, or he was gone by the time?
He was slightly in front of me. Everybody knew him. I worked with everybody who worked with him. He was an order or two in front of me when he transferred out. So but I know him through the years. I know him. Salo, BS, everything.
So the other companies were in there too. 85 was there at that time, or
no? 85 was out. They moved to their own quarters with 59 truck.
That's right. That was
house in the Bronx.
Yeah, that was early. Yeah, that was early.
What about that what is it? TFU, TSU?
I was gone before my time. Yeah.
Wow. But you guys were still going to a shit ton of work there in the Bronx, right?
Guys would come in the morning and they go, you guys catch any work last night? Yeah, we caught that second alarm after dinner. And then we had an all hands, and then we had another. Hold on, let me go to the book. You'd have to go to the book to remember how many jobs, how many. But the crazy thing is, you couldn't wait to get to work.
Yeah, man.
It was great. Great guys we worked with.
And that's why you deserve better with at least a freaking plaque, because you guys didn't ask for the kudos, but we're getting it anyway.
Look at it right here. We're getting that plaque.
Maybe we could even start with a change.org petition, or we could just go to the top, right, Kev? Like you said, go right.
How many years did you do that, Danny?
4 years. And my problem was travel. I had an apartment, single guy living on the east side, and I had to take the train up. And the train going there wasn't too bad, but coming off a day tour, we'd always catch a job at 5:30 or something.
So it's 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock or something.
And whoever had the meal would drive me the 7-8 blocks to the L. And I go up, and I'm like, holy Jesus, here I am, solo in the South Bronx. And I got to go down to a home, Spanish home, everything. So it got a little hairy, and the graffiti was so much that you couldn't see out the window as to what station you were pulling into.
Oh, my God.
Everything was tagged, I'm sorry, I should say urban art.
Yeah, it's art. They're artists.
Oh, it's urban art, yeah.
There was some close calls. So what I did was I took my department shoes, my dress department shoes, Class A, and in my civilian clothes, I put my department shoes on. And so when the Crips come through and everything, they look at me and go, "Evening, officer," thinking that a decoy. I'm a decoy ready for them to take the fall. And so they
would leave you alone.
With my department shoes, waiting to get back to 86th Street. And guys would tell me, "Get a piece, carry a gun." And I'm like, "No.
Get a car.
They had the subway vigilante, I said, "No, that's
Buy a Pinto or something."
Yeah.
Pacer. How about a Pacer?
Yeah, so you hit the back.
It was. I used to call it the coming to work, the 880 Intervale Avenue Shuffle Relay. We get off the L at Freeman Street, about 7 blocks from quarters, and just whoa, away I go. Just all right, Noonan, come on. It's neighborhood was not the best.
No. So where'd you go? You went to 9 Truck? Was that
Yeah, great 9 Truck. Fabulous. On Great Jones Street in the Bowery.
Some firehouse there, huh, man?
Oh, 33 engine. I don't know if you have a photograph of that, but real classic.
I think you do, Pete. You have a picture of the firehouse, 33 and 9?
I sure do. Stand by.
That's where I met. That's where Bob Morocco was. There we go. Yes.
That's an old firehouse, too, right, Danny?
1905.
What's that?
1905.
Beautiful.
Beautiful firehouse.
We gotta do a spotlight on. I think the thing is.
Yeah,
amazing.
no, I want to do that. I want to definitely go there.
Look at the look at all this work.
Wow.
You come out there, be architectural students out there doing it, and we had everything in there. We had we just had the engine and truck, 33 and 9, and then we had on the top floor we had a basketball court.
Wow.
And then we had a handball court. And then we had go-karts on the roof there.
Wow. Go-karts.
We had right by the bowling alley. And summertime, we'd have the Ferris wheel going in there.
Nice.
Hey, where's that picture of him from 9 Truck? That was the best mustache.
Yeah.
Look at that. He is. It's an hour and 25 minutes in, and he's still
on his game.
I don't know.
Good
I
for
think
you.
he was waiting. It was like a cat.
Good for you. Wow.
Look at this.
So how much were you married at this picture? How much Tookie were you getting back in the day?
Let's see.
It looks like Fabio with a mustache.
Got the hair like blowing back in his head.
The hair is like blowing in the wind or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what is got going on there.
It's George Kelly, the captain of 28 engine, and Jerry O'Shea, the legendary nozzle man from 28 engine.
Jerry O'Shea, yeah, man.
Yeah. So that was it was a pier fire on the west side. And,
look at that head.
What are you standing on a box or something? What's going on over there?
People always ask, "What the hell? How come you weren't fighting the fire?" Those pier fires are done.
I like that mustache there, bro. That's fucking. Oh, did I say mustache? Oh my
God. You did. Oh.
Man.
How long did you do that, Danny?
4 years. Yeah.
4 years now.
Wrapped it up. Wrapped up. Great place to work. And again, diversity in work. One run. Well, the Bowery was the Bowery back then. It was CBGB's crowd and the Bowery just Skid Row killed. And so you had all the running through there, and you had the old time lofts, and then you had same thing, Avenue A, B, C, and D all through there. So we ran in a lot with 11 Truck, 28 engine. We were all over the place.
11 Truck was doing some work back then. There was a shit ton of work.
I think they never got the recognition they deserved because they were always up there 1 or 2 or whatever, and people go, "Where's 11 Truck?"
Yeah, man.
That's East 2nd Street and Avenue B.
Yeah, it's one of those sleeper places that caught a shit ton of work back then, man.
A shit ton. Same thing you were saying before, the rear tenements. Man, work.
It was a shithole.
Oh,
it was a shithole in the 80s when I told you my uncle had a place on Avenue A and I don't know 12th to 13th, a glass place. I used to work there in the summer.
Oh shit, I forgot about that.
It was a shithole. I mean, And that was in the 80s.
My old man was in 17 engine, which is not too
Wow.
far. They did some work there. Yeah.
17 before it got disbanded. I went through the layoffs and the rehire and everything together with this guy, Marty Selleck. And unfortunately, he was killed at a terrible job.
Yep.
I think Avenue B or C it was. And they're up there, top floor job, and they lit it up underneath them, 3 floors underneath them. And they couldn't make their way back to the tower ladder. And the chauffeur couldn't see, and he got caught and came down the 5 stories and lost his life. Terrible, terrible fire. Arson fire. And, of course, the son of a bitch gets like 3 years, and that's it. It's just horrific.
Sucks.
Jobs.
You know what really amazes me, Danny, that we talk about, you're talking about Marty Selleck right now. You're talking about the job that you had at the telephone fire, and how scared, you think you might not make it back, but the amazing part is that we still love it. It doesn't matter how you shake that off, right, Ruff? And you can't wait to get back to work, which is the amazing part of it.
Really, truly, it's dedication. The call, it's even I found that so in California where when I moved to California, it's. I ended up being instructing at Miramar College out there, which if you told me I was going to get out of the job and be a college instructor, I would have told you I had a better chance of being the Prince of Wales. I was a saloon owner, and
we got to talk about that. That's right. We got to talk about that.
And,
what were you doing? What year did you go to California?
90.
1990. You go to California to do what? You go to San Diego?
Could be 91. Right? Yeah. And the city was just overwhelming. I had 2 daughters and living in Bell Harbor. And I was listening to my friends like, how are you going to get the kids to school? All right, I'll pick them up Tuesday. Hey, Pete, can you get them Thursday afternoon? Lou, are you free Friday morning? Because subways were, forget about it, And so I said, well, when I was laid off, I went all through Southern California. And I said, this is beautiful, beautiful. It's land of free, great schools, great weather, great everything. And there was also 2 other firefighters out there who didn't know one another, who were at the phone company fire, who knew me, who said, Danny, I moved out here because of the weather. I came through here when I was in the Navy. Since the phone job, my lungs with the fibrosis, this is where I'm living. 2 independent guys. So I said, makes sense,
The weather's great out there in San Diego. Beautiful.
The humidity is the thing that'll probably bother your lungs, right? I would imagine.
Yeah, but it's when you're looking at all the bikinis on the beach, it's
oh my. Well, speaking of bikinis, how are you doing when? So, what was the story? You started a bar, obviously one of the most popular bars in the city at the time, right?
Yeah, we ended up with half the job working for us. It would take the rest of the show for me to name. Myself, Tommy Corning from Ladder 120, and Larry Fitzpatrick from Rescue 3. And I have been bartending different places in the city. And I said, you know what we need here in the city is a place for firefighters, a place that we can call our own. And I found this place, Quinn's Tavern on 2nd Avenue and 38th Street. We bought it, bought the meat store next to it. And Tom Coyne's a tremendous carpenter, really gifted. And we built the bar, we opened the kitchen, and we took off. We opened up in 78 with the pipes and drums on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, my God.
Right in the place. Our license was still pending, but
put that right under the rug. Don't worry about it.
So who came up with the name Suspenders?
Larry Fitzpatrick did. We were really thing like the lawyers would come on, we need a name. We had the horse races out trying to figure out a name and everything, and he came up with Firefighters Suspenders. And then, of course, 2 years later, Larry was killed line of duty. Him and Jerry Frisbee on the roof rope rescue up in Harlem. Tom McTeague eloquently spoke about that on one of your recent shows. And it was really devastating. I think I sent you a picture of the front of the post. Larry was 39 years old, and he left 8 kids.
8 kids.
8
Holy
kids,
shit.
yeah.
Wow.
That was really hard. And to this day, still part of us, and as all brothers and sisters are, but him in particular. And if you ever go to 2nd Avenue, 38th Street, oh, that's Crazy McTeague. Yeah.
The newspaper article, right?
Yeah.
Below that too, Petey. There you go.
There it goes.
Wow. That's sad.
So,
How long did you guys after that? How long you kept it open?
11 more years.
11
and
years.
Then we opened up on, we had one on Steinway Street in Astoria, one out in the Hamptons for a couple of summers, and then Wall Street. We went down to Wall Street. We were there for almost 26 years, and we brought on board Billy Ahern from 235 Engine, and later Lieutenant 131 Truck. And Suspenders of Wall Street is still there. Different owners, but we're still involved. Tell the audience that the first drink is we're getting salty. And also on 2nd Avenue and 38th Street is what's known as the Bravest now. It went from Suspenders to the Bravest. Still heavy job connection. And on the wall, we have all the firefighters we lost. Larry Fitz, also my late brother Michael, who did 20 years with EMS and was a volley at the Point Lookout, Lido Fire Department. He was a captain.
You said that, right?
And also, Patty Brown is also there. It's okay if I tell you a quick, funny story about Patty Brown.
Absolutely.
Patty Brown, you know the man, right? Captain Free Truck, killed in 9/11.
Vietnam
he
vet.
worked for us as our doorman on Sunday night. And Patty had a little touch of the acting bug, So he finally got on General Hospital. And he was on for 3 afternoons in a row, but he was a boxer. And he had to teach Elliot how to box. Because somebody was messing around with Elliot's wife or something. So he had like 3-minute segments. And Friday afternoon, he had this big line, right? Went to Elliot, nice fight. So that was it, right? That was it. We had it on in the bar and everything. Everybody's, all the waitresses. So Larry comes to work. Patty comes to work Sunday night, right? Comes in about 7, and Fitzy is there. Fitzy's like the toughest guy in the job, right? Right guard on the football team. 235, like 5'10". He has the permanent thing on his nose from his helmet crashing into it. He loves a tough guy. So Larry's been on like a 2-dayer. And then comes Patty to work. And we're all sitting there, everything. Larry goes, Patty, that's some bad news. You're fired. You're done here. You're done. He said, what? What, Larry? What? I said, sorry, Patty. You're done. No more Sunday nights. No more covering door. I was really? All right. I'm surprised to hear that. So we're watching. Patty puts his head down, starts to turn around and walk out. And Fitzy goes, hey, anybody who gets beat up by a Jewish accountant on their show,
They can't bounce here.
can't work the door for us.
That's a great
Come
story.
here, Patty, a teabag, big
Yeah,
hug.
teabag.
Oh, place goes crazy.
Oh my God, you must have so many freaking stories from that.
Oh, maybe we got episodes 3, 4, and 5 for that.
That must be so much fun to think back to those times, huh? Back then with all those guys. Oh my God.
Yeah, we had, as I said, half the job. We had 2 guys every night, and the doorman. And after Fitzy died, the guys from Rescue 3, so they're going to come down and give us a hand. They're going to work the door, and Arms Murphy and these guys, Stanley Scarbrack, all these guys would come down. But I had the hardest time trying to explain to them that when you were doorman, it means You work the door. You don't sit at the end of the bar with cocktails and the waitresses.
He was a good-looking guy, man.
They couldn't get that job description. They couldn't.
You know what's so funny is there.
Was just hire the ugly doorman.
Right. There's a song. I listen to a lot of country, obviously, living upstate. But there's a song by Kenny Chesney, and when he sings, he's talking about a bar, and he's talking about his friends at the bar, and he says in the song, "It makes me happy, but it makes me sad." Right. And that's one of those things where you think back and you start laughing about the stories. Right. And then you start thinking about, the guys are gone. Most of those guys are gone. And it's like a bittersweet thing. Right. You love to think about it and laugh about it. And but at the same time, it's a sad story.
To me, it's still going. I'd love to go out for a pint with the brothers all the time. I try to get that going and really enjoy it. And
you've been a Manhattan guy, huh? You still in the city, right?
Yeah,
been a Manhattan guy.
Jimmy Cagney Place now. 91st and 2nd. Up in a high rise, 32 stories, which is.
You're still involved with those bars, or?
Oh yeah, the one down Wall Street. I am. It's down to one guy, and he's not on the job, so.
What's next, Pete? Right?
Pardon me,
Pete. You know what's next, right? I got to ask him why we don't have any of our ATMs in his bars.
Oh man,
that's coming. That's coming after the show.
You got it.
Oh, look at that! I'm holding him to that.
It's right by Ground Zero. It's. It's. I had the opportunity to work for Lee Ileppi for a while as a volunteer tour guide at the.
I'm working him hard, bro. I'm working him hard to try to get him on the show.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
And it's important what he does because we have all these millions of tourists who come through it. And as good as the tour guides are, they're mostly retired teachers and everything. And they say, oh, yes, this is where all the firemen passed away. No, you need brothers or sisters there to tell these people, no, this is where 343 New York City firefighters were killed. Where they were murdered here. We didn't pass away, There's no malice in everything, but we got to stay involved with this. Like
I love Danny's passion. Danny's a passion.
Don't forget, and I don't forgive.
Yep. Yeah. You know what Lee does? You know what Lee needs? Lee needs a good mustache. That's what I'm sorry. I had to throw that in there.
Yeah, he does. Time for my pint here.
Get it going, kid.
Halligan.
It's time for it.
Yeah, he's got the Halligan.
It's time for me to put this glass down.
Halligan. Huey Halligan, 1919 to 1956.
Nice.
I'd like to take it and just rub it all over.
With the vitamin E.
Vitamin E.
I already, while I've been on the chat, while I've been on the podcast, I already ordered 6 gallons of vitamin E on Amazon.
He's going to rub it all over himself. He's going to get silly with vitamin E. Silly.
Stops cancer. I'm in.
Well, is it that time, Kev? Is that what's going on? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
We could shoot the old quarter of the day, and then we could go back a little bit to his websites and stuff.
I have an idea that Danny's going to have a great old school tip. But I gave it away. Pete, what time is it?
Oh, it's time for the old school tip of the day.
All right, kid.
Don't let it be how you keep that full head of hair. I don't want to hear anything.
Whenever you want that video, Danny, let us know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put it on now.
Okay, stand by. I gotta come out of here and do this. All right, we're gonna play like the first minute of it because I think everyone will get it.
Yes.
Very dramatic and violent video. 2 children somehow avoided getting hit by a hail of bullets when a gunman opened fire at nearly point-blank range.
Now, police just released the video of the incident in the Bronx. Fortunately, the children did not get hurt as they ducked for cover, but a man on the street was not so lucky.
Yeah, no, not at all. And we want to warn you, the full video you're about to show you is extremely graphic. Eyewitness News reporter Jim Dolan is live in Mount Eden. Jim?
That's good.
Yeah, Sade, this.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, as you saw, in that video, you could identify the 9-year-old sister goes after the first couple of shots, and she goes for her younger sister, and she covers her up and protects her. The same is applicable to us in the fire service. If in our size up, it's identified that we have trapped children in the building, because what the structure is, could be a multiple dwelling, private dwelling, whatever, maybe perhaps from a guardian, from a parent or whatever, we have children, multiple, two. Inside a fire situation, their behavior is going to be, the 6-year-old is going to have complete reliance and confidence on the 9-year-old. It's not going to be like, oh, hey, sis, you stay here. I'm going to go to the other fire escape. This way the fire. No, they take care of one another. They intertwine with one another. So when we make our aggressive primary search, and we're in there and things are nasty, we're going down, we're in the room, we identify this is a bedroom, right? We're getting information. Oh, we have 2 children here. We're crawling along, we're sucking the nails out of the floor. We go and boom, oh, here's a kid, here's the outline. Whoa, we got a kid, oh, great. All right, let me make this grab, go back. No, you don't grab that kid, go out the bell and say, oh, what a grab I made. No, you take that kid, you call for your partner, you call for assistance, you call for whomever, you pass that kid out, and then you suck it up. You look down into your soul, into your heart, and find out the reason why you're on this job, why you raised your right hand. You suck it up, and you're going to go and get the other kid, because it's been shown to us time after time after time that within probably a 10-foot proximity, you're going to find the other kid. So my tip is size up, go for 2, because it will eat your heart out if you just grab the one, bring them out, and then you go back, then you find the other one, and you lift it off the floor and find that outline of the child that you just missed. So if it's identified that there's more than one or whatever, you got to go for it. Got to give it all we got.
Holy shit, that might be the best
That's
one.
old school, bro.
Oh,
right there.
Easily the best one we've ever had.
That's
I'm
old
about
school
to-
right there. That's
Yeah, I'm
old
about to
school.
fall on the floor with that one, bro. That is holy shit.
I
Could have
mean,
used that. I could have used that one like 27 years ago.
I mean, if that doesn't make you
I'm
want
gonna give a bravo, bro. But I'm gonna give a bravo right here on that old school tip of the day, bro.
Well done, Dan. Well done.
Dan said he had 2. I don't even want to know. Do you have another one, bro? You said you had 2.
No, I think I kind of discussed that before with.
Yeah, all right. Don't say anything else because I'm already.
Yeah,
spewing
do the
on my
mic
drop,
that
bro.
that had me so fired up, man. Like,
Drop
you
it.
know,
Do the mic drop right there, bro.
whew, man.
Holy crap, Dan! Unbelievable job. Great job.
Dude, I think you're doing a great job.
This is what I want to do because we do this from time and time again. For all the guys that we lost at the telephone fire and all the other brothers, I want to give. I had mentioned to you that my father was in 17 truck. I mean 17 engine. I'm sorry. When he left there, he took the bell off the front of the rig, so we use it for a 555. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give the five bells for all the brothers that we lost.
Hold on, Coops.
You got another one?
Yeah, I also wanted to mention yesterday marked 8 years. The 19 members of the the Hot Shots were killed in a wildland fire in Yarnell. So I was going to mention that tonight. So it's appropriate right now anyway. So we'll do that.
All right, Danny. This is for all the brothers that you worked with that we lost. Amen, brother. Salute.
Salute.
Wow, I was blown away by that old school tip of the day, Dan. I've heard a lot of them. Woo!
That's old school. They don't put that in the textbook.
No, they don't.
Behavioral objectives you got to consider. It's. I had some child psychologist. He was nice enough to give me an interview, and also discuss about magical thinking in children. That a lot of times they will go to Big Bird or whatever, their stuffed animal or whatever, and hold that Big Bird through magical thinking, that this is their protection. So we got to give that extra emphasis that you got to lift that giant teddy bear, you got to search around this, you got to do this, you got to be good. Even if things are feeling a little hairy, you can vent, enter, and search. You can keep your end of your hook, your pike pole on the windowsill, and then just search out with one arm on the pike pole. It's going to give you a huge radius, and go in there with fortitude. And a lot of time you identify the children's door with what they have on it. You know, they have different things, maybe Sesame Street or this or whatever. It's going to give you an indication of where it's at, and that's where we're going to shine. That's where we shine, boy.
Like it.
Amen.
Wow.
Like it.
Love it.
You know, it's amazing to hear the passion in your voice after how many years being off the job. You really get a sense that you really still care, and it means everything to you. So amen to you, bro.
I'm like the Foreign Legion. I'm in for life.
Hey.
All right,
got that.
you right.
Dan, you had some
Shout-outs?
Shout-outs, some websites you want to talk about? We got some.
If Pete can put these up.
You want to do the websites first or the photos?
Photos, please.
Okay, so no problem. Photos coming up.
We campaign very, very hard for 9/11 healthcare, and we had to go to Congress multiple times. And I had the opportunity to go with this fellow Skip, and Skip was suffering. I think his son is on the job now. Skip had significant cancer. I believe it was glioblastoma, and he would come down in his wheelchair. And as we went to different senators' office or whatever, he'd take the wheelchair and leave it out front, and he would go in with us, and he would make this magnificent pitch of why us first responders need permanent 9/11 healthcare. And the guy was absolutely fabulous, unsung. Nobody knows of Skip or whatever. I mean, on our buses every 4 o'clock in the morning from the Rock, all these multiple trips. And I just think a brother like him needs a shout out, as well as the man who led us through this, a firefighter by the name of Ray Pfeiffer. Here's Skip and I meeting various senators. This was in the New York Times. That's Senator Gillibrand on your left, and Jon Stewart speaking with Skip. Perhaps you can note the side of Skip's head there.
Did he pass?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Engine 266 out of Rockaway. He prided himself on like 48 straight days on the pile. And he was one of the brothers who developed the cancers, and we fought hard. And through him and also all the others involved, including Ray Pfeiffer. This guy had the balls of a lion. He was unbelievable. He led us down there all the time. Nobody was better at getting a senator or a congressperson
Who picks up?
buttonholed them. There was a little subway line. This is at his funeral when Ray died. I stood there, and this is afterwards. To me, he was the toughest guy on the job. I worked with a lot of guys who I thought were going to put me in the burn center. Tough firefighters. But this guy, boy, permanent health care for thousands of us for 75 years. This is what these people achieved, and they led the charge. And also 2 civilians, Jon Stewart and John Field. We should kiss their ass in Macy's window. They were absolutely unbelievable about getting this done for us. And what we enjoy today, this gold standard of healthcare, is a result of these brothers so gallantly going down to Congress and banging on the doors.
I just wanted to say I can confirm Jon Stewart's a great guy. I worked with him for 10 years. So if you're listening to this, boss.
No, when you listen to him when he was on Congress that day, when he was up there talking to them right in front of the the dais there. He
Super
was
passionate.
pummeling him. Yeah,
I think I have
yeah.
a photograph of him with in front of Congress there with
I don't know if
Wilson and the senators. You
Let me
know.
see if I can find that. It might be up
I
top.
don't know if I
here.
sent that one.
No. But I will say on every level, he was just the best guy, and it obviously after all this even better. So if boss, if you're listening, we love you, buddy. We really do. Thank you for all the good years.
Well, unbelievable.
Yeah, man.
All right, Dan, you got some websites you wanted to talk about too that you
It's the
working
same thing
with.
I've been talking about is Faces, Firefighter Against Cancer Exposure. Also, Friends of Firefighters who do, they have this counseling and they have it for active and retired firefighters.
Nancy.
And our families.
Yep.
And it's all confidential. They've took over the old firehouse over in Red Hook. And they're just remarkable folks, and they got on-the-arm breakfast, and they just do a great job. And I'm also involved with New York Cancer Resource Alliance, and we're trying to get the word out. It's get checked now. Drop the cape, drop the rock and roll. I am a lion. I'm a man of steel. You got it. It's an obligation with all the different feeds we take from everything, all these polymers. Get checked now, brothers and sisters.
Nice. Yep.
I think, Danny, when we were talking to you this week, right? I was telling you, it's funny, for all those years, I never worried about cancer till the day I retired. I was like, holy shit, man, I got to get checked out,
Yeah, listen, we had Rob Brown on. Rob Brown runs a great program, bro. If you want to get checked and you want to stay on top of stuff, just reach out to Rob Brown because he does a great, extensive 9/11 cancer screening. So, guys, you got to catch it early. Like Danny was saying, man, with all the shit that we're exposed to today, it's not wood anymore. It's all these plastics and all these chemicals. So you got to get yourself checked early. The only chance you have is detecting it early and fighting.
Right on. Yes, early detection is the best.
Yeah, man.
It's one of those things that you almost don't want to hear it, but you got to deal with it, right? And you guys especially, you guys got to deal with it more than anybody. So,
So my late brother Michael, 20 years EMS.
Well, he's got a good stash,
You
too.
got a good stash, too, bro. What's up with you guys? What, you went to this same mustache school? What happened, bro?
I'm not hitting the bell right now.
No. That's awesome.
Captain Point Lookout.
He was in my neighborhood then.
He's in your hood, yes.
Yeah,
He's
you
waiting
know
for you
what?
to fill the boot.
I'm gonna give him a 5 bells, bro. Just
wonderful.
bro. I'm gonna
Thank
give him 5 bells.
Thank you.
Rest in peace, my brother.
Salute.
Oh yeah. All right, Ruffy, you got any shout outs, kid?
No, that was the only one I had was the jumpers, the smoke jumpers, but we did that one.
Awesome. All right.
I have a quick shout out.
Give it to us, Pete.
Sad to say, one of our own in the chat, Susie, had a stroke, like another mini stroke.
Really?
So she was listening tonight. Of course, we were all wishing for a speedy recovery, Sue. Susie, rather. She doesn't like Sue. And I heard from her husband the other day. Apparently, she's doing better, but she needs rest. So let's hope that she does well.
Hugs and kisses for Susie.
Thanks, Liam. Thanks, Finbar.
Finbar.
They are actually twins, he said. They're actually
identical, yes.
Yeah, awesome.
These are your grandsons? Who are these? Your nephews?
My brother's sons, my nephews.
Your brother's son. Your nephew.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. I'm going to give a shameless plug, Pete. You know what? You have my things, or you don't have it?
Go. You know what? I'll create it right now.
Oh, look at you creator. Look at you.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. First2nutrition.com, bro. Get your supplements made by
Whoa. What's going on? You said one time now. All of a sudden, we're gonna do, I mean, if you're going to do this, you got to pay, advertising. I mean, what the hell do you think this is?
No.
All of a sudden, I was going to start throwing this on every week now. What's going on?
What about the promo code? Tell them about the promo code.
Salty. You know,
for 10% off.
10% off. Listen, you want your pre-workouts, you want your protein, you want your fat burner, you want your NO products, right there, bro. Made by me and another fireman from 176 truck, about 176. Go over to the website. My old lady will fill the order for you. You know, maybe she'll rub herself on it or something. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Oh my God!
Look at Danny's face.
Jesus Christ! Why do we have to go there?
Listen, I got to make money like anybody. You buy those. So I take his face, I push him on the hood. I say, you buy that protein, bro. I need money like anybody.
All right.
Listen, one last thing before we go. We just discussed this in the pre-show. We're going to have another wives show. This time, Petey's going to bring his wife on the show, and my mother, Ellie's coming on the show. She's probably at home like this. Oh, my God, I never said I was coming on. You're coming on the show. She's coming on the show. My old lady, Roofy's old lady, Pete's old lady, and we'll try to get Chief Steve's old lady on the show.
You should bring Anna on as well. I feel like she deserves it.
Oh, my wife's coming on too.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah. So send the questions. You want to send them? Don't send the Roofy. He's going to get all uptight. Send the Coobs podcast. You know what to do. Send it to the same place you send the Cup of Joe and some Fuego. Send the questions to me, and we'll weed them out, and we'll get the all old ladies on the chat.
Jose wants to know why the protein smells like fish.
Easy.
It's fish protein.
This is a family show.
It's a family show.
As a matter of fact, my wife won't be coming
Danny,
on the show.
if I had a nickel for every time I said that.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Danny, I got to say, Danny, I really enjoyed this show. I really enjoyed you having on the show. It's awesome. And get the word out there, early detection, bro. And we are going to work hard at getting a plaque somewhere. I don't know where it's going, but we're going to find it.
We'll be in touch with you. We'll you're going to be the head guy. We'll figure it out.
Let's do it. Absolutely.
Thanks for having me. It's wonderful.
February 27th, 1975. That's what's going to say on the plaque, bro.
Yep. Beautiful. As it should be.
Yeah.
And
You always remember, we claim never forget. What was it our mantra?
Yeah, I agree.
Apparently,
No, we ain't forgetting. Getting salty ain't forgetting, bro. Yep.
No.
Yeah, man. I was in utero at that day. On that day, I was literally in my mom's belly. So
you were
crazy. I was a baby. I was not even a baby. I was
75.
75, bro. All right.
To be a dad, so
I'm going to wrap it up. But Danny, just hang with us because we're going to talk to you at the end of this. All right. So stand by. Guys, you all know the drill by now. iTunes, podcast, Spotify, wherever fine audio podcasts are found, we're everywhere. Subscribe, it's free, and you can listen to the show, audio version, when you're on the way to the gym, when you're driving around town, whatever. That's where you can hear the audio version of the podcast. And if you're here on youtube.com/Gettin Salty Experience, guys, we will need you to go do something called hitting the like, subscribe, and share button with your filthy booger hook. All right, just do it. It doesn't take any time, doesn't take anything. Just do it. It's free. Again, it helps us out a lot. Guys, head on over. Also, if you're on Instagram, head on over to at Salty Dog Inc., where you will find curated fire photos where Mr. Refrano, if he's not hitting a golf ball into somebody's head or killing a deer, we'll be definitely putting some great photos on there and giving you last minute info for the show. GettingSaltyApparel.com, you guys. That's of course where you find all the coolest firefighter gear and accessories. Thank you to everyone who hooked us up in the super chat and continues to do so. You guys, there's some repeat offenders in there. We love you. Thank you. Really does help us out a lot. It helps me out a lot personally. Thank you, guys. Guys, if you have a question for the show for our Q&As, Getting Salty Experience at gmail.com. And for anything that is Cup of Joe related, Coobs Podcast at gmail.com. Last but not least, guys.
Or the wives show.
Right. A wives show, right.
Wives and my mother.
Last but not least, guys, the Facebook group, man, it just keeps growing and growing. And it's such a great community of people. I really love the posts there. Getting Salty fans, not created by us, but man, what a terrific community that you guys have formed on there. And we really appreciate all the Leatherhead Nation. And that, my friends, is all the news that is fit to print.
Oh, look at you. Are we on Monday night or are we taking off for the 4th of July? What are we doing?
Oh, that's right.
We'll talk about it. We'll figure it out.
All right. We got a lot of good guests coming in. I got them all in a book. I don't have the book in front of me.
Well done.
Guys, I fumbled. I have one more shout out.
Oh, give it.
Do it.
Get it. Get it done. Do it.
To the greatest band in the world, the FDNY Emerald Society Pipes and Drums.
Nice.
Hey.
I thought you were going to say Journey because we were listening to the Journey.
Only
band,
now go look. The lead singer of Journey is a Filipino. Go look it up.
That's what we heard on the way. That's what we heard in the beginning.
That means he's a badass who likes guns. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Danny, good looking into your life, bro. You got a good run so far. Keep it going.
Ruffy, use that again. I like that. Good looking into your life. You just come up with that now?
I don't know. That's what
Good
I
for
do.
you. I like it. Ruffy.
I like it. It's
I
just
like
flowing
it.
from you now.
It is. This came out of nowhere.
Get in touch with the creative.
I think he lifted up his hat. It came out of his
Been
hat.
off for a week.
Hey,
that what it
everyone's
is?
got the energy.
Maybe. I'm well rested.
All right, Danny,
All right,
thanks.
boys.
Appreciate it,
Thank
bro.
you, brothers. Thank you. Quite
All right,
a
Danny.
thank you.
Hang loose. We're
after the
gonna
show.
catch you on the back in the back show. Here. Don't hang up yet.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right,
Cheers,
fellas.
boys.
Stay low and go, fellas.
All right, we'll see you at the big one, everybody.
Cheers.